evening, everybody. Welcome to Bristol Township Zoning Hearing Board. Can we please remove your hats and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, tomorrow's Veterans Day. I just want to thank all the veterans out there before we get started. I'm going to start introducing a few people. To my left is our solicitor, Keith Bidleymeyer. We also got supervisor, Bristol Township Supervisor, Bo Fleming. Cindy Oliveira is our stenographer. And call the board, Mr. Secretary, please.
Colleen Dunn.
Here.
Mark DeMarcus.
Here.
Jim McMahon.
Here.
Ed Murphy. Here.
Okay, let's get started on the agenda. Number one on the agenda, Megan Milligan, 690 Headley Court, Levittown. Please come on up. Ms. Milligan, you have your mail-ins?
Yeah.
You bring them up to the solicitor, please?
And do you have proof the property was posted? Did you hang the placard on the house? Okay. Okay. Do you know the date that was posted?
The date? Yeah, I didn't bring the date with me.
No, I don't need it, but do you know the date? Can you tell me the date that was
Oh,
posted?
I posted it like the day that I picked it up 2 weeks ago.
Okay. All right.
And
So,
then it should be in 14 days.
yeah. So I'll need that copy of them. What, you served your neighbors or had your neighbors?
Yeah.
Did you mail them or did you give them to them?
I mailed one
Okay.
and then gave to the 2 other ones.
All right.
There's the return receipt for the survey that
Got
I
it.
attached. She didn't receive it, but there's like,
Okay.
there's like a receipt showing what happened.
Okay. After she hasn't sworn you in, she'll swear you in. I'll ask you a couple questions about this on the record.
Okay, so
Okay.
start with questions first.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about this. All right.
I think she was sworn in.
Cindy, you should swear. Okay. Ms. Milligan, you handed me some documents, one of which is a colored photograph showing that the property was posted for tonight's meeting. Is that accurate? Okay. And it was posted for at least 2 weeks before tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you also served your neighbors either by certified mail or having them sign the forms provided by Bristol Township. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you can proceed.
Got it.
You said you're going to ask questions? Oh, that was
I
it?
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking for my, it's not here. Okay. So I am here for a variance for my fence in my front yard that is 6 feet high. I just want to make it clear that initially, when I received my permit from the office, I read the requirements, and it stated that the residential use for fence may not be more than 6 feet in a rear or side yard. The fence runs down the side of our front yard, so I interpreted that as being, considering my side yard. I didn't interpret it as being the front yard, so I just want to make it clear that I didn't intend on not following the requirements of having the fence be 4 feet. I just understood it as 6 feet high. The reason I feel that I would like to keep my 6-foot fence on that side is for safety concerns. We have issues with our neighbor on that side. So we have had, there's been police incidents in the past. I tried to get police reports to bring with me tonight, but only a lawyer could obtain those. We have had harassment issues. We have found substances in our yard thought to have been poison for my dogs, so we had to call the police for that. Because of these ongoing issues causing distress and mental anguish, I would like to keep my fence to feel safe and to kind of create that barrier in between us. If I cut it down to 4 feet, I just feel that that barrier will be eliminated, and it would just cause everything to go back to distress. Having that barrier allows us to be able to live safely and peacefully, so I would like to request permission to maintain my fence as is.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Milligan? No? No? Anything to add, Bo? No. Anybody from the audience like to come up, speak for or against this project? Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Call the board.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Mark DeMarcus.
Yes.
Jim McMahon.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Good luck, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you to our veterans, too.
Okay, let's see, Lorraine Landis, 918 Hillary Avenue, Croydon. Please come on up.
Hi.
Do you have the mail-ins? Your mail-ins?
Oh, mailing.
Okay.
You first?
Swear in,
Swear.
Cindy, yeah.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And your name, please?
My name is Lizaveta Sikowska, Lizaveta. Last name Sai, Kouskaya.
Lorraine, Lorraine, Landis, Landis. Mm-hmm, you're welcome.
Liz, do you have a copy of your proof of service? Okay.
3 letters, and for one of them, it's just a receipt.
Okay. And do you know the date that the property was posted? Do you know the date that this was hung up?
The date?
Yeah.
It was like a month before the date. I think it should be, yeah.
Okay.
It has both on the door and in front of the property.
Perfect. All right, I ask you a couple questions.
Yeah, sure. And then I also have this just for delineation purposes.
Okay, I'll give it to the board.
Put that up, I think it's a month.
A month, yeah, as long as it's 2
Ma'am.
weeks.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask you a couple quick questions. You handed me some documents, one of which is a packet showing that the property, the adjoining or abutting property owners were served for tonight's meeting. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Okay, and then also you handed me 3 colored photographs, one of which shows the property was posted as required. Is that right?
correct.
And it was the property was posted at least 2 weeks before tonight's meeting. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Great, thank you.
Okay, you can proceed.
Okay, so we're here in front of the Township of Bristol for requesting the variance for the front setback. As of right now, the front setback is set to be 25 feet, and we are asking it to be moved to 20 feet to install the front porch yard. That's gonna have the roof awning, and it's just gonna have the columns on the side. It's not, sorry. Okay, it's gonna be a front porch with roof awning and columns on the side. That's still gonna be see-through the windows that you can also see on the visualization paper that we provided. The reason for asking for the variance is the owner of the house has a husband that he would love to sit on the front porch and just enjoy the nature. Unfortunately, he has some health conditions that just restricts him from going on a long distance or going out of the house, so it would just be a great opportunity for him to enjoy every season and weather. It also good to notice that there is a concrete patio that has been poured, and it has been there for like at least 40 years. So we're not taking any more of the land coverage. It's still all in previous coverage. We're just going to be adding the roof awning and the columns on the side.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
Any questions? from the board.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Just for as old as the pad is,
The pad is,
whoever the contractor doing the work, for how old the pad has been on the ground,
they
the
say,
contractor is fine with using that pad?
well, so the pad's gonna be used just for the flooring. It still needs to have some footings, so we'll excavate, because I'm part of the representative from the contractor company, so we're still gonna excavate to have the footings for the, where the column goes, so, you know, it can transfer the load correctly. But the pad itself just gonna serve as the, just as a flooring, as a,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Bo? Anybody from the audience like to come up for or against this? Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion for this.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Call the board.
Colleen Dunn,
Yes.
Jim McMahon,
Yes.
Mark DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Good luck.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Holly Rojas, 915 Spencer Drive, Croydon, please come on up. Okay, you may proceed.
All right. Good evening, Board. Bryce McGuigan here on behalf of Holly Warzos, the owner of the property located at 915 Spencer Drive. Thank you so much for having us here with you tonight. By way of background, the property itself is approximately 6,500 square feet and is located within the R2 residential district here in the township. It's presently improved by a single-family detached dwelling and an accessory shed, which is one of the reasons why we're here tonight, basically for the shed. The shed was existing for about 35 years, although apparently never had any permits. The shed is non-compliant with respect to side yard setback. There's a special setback for accessory structures of 5 feet. That's within the 5-foot area. Holly and her family extended that shed by about 96 square feet to the rear. They maintained the existing side yard setback of the shed. If you look here at the, if you look at the first page here, this shows what it's, I believe, currently at, or apologies, 2015 aerial. So this shows where the shed was when Holly purchased the property in 2016. Bo, can you do me a favor and go to the next page for me? All right. This was the extension right there to the rear, 96 square feet. Holly didn't know she needed a permit, so the work went unpermitted. Ordinarily, it would just be a permit and there would be no need to come before this board, except for the fact that the existing shed was non-conforming. So this shed, technically speaking, has a non-conforming side yard setback. When we could prepare the impervious surface calculation worksheet, we realized as well that even though this is only 96 square feet, the property as existing is existing non-conforming with respect to impervious surface. So we're here for 2 variances. The first is to permit an accessory structure within the 5-foot setback. The second is to permit a 38.85% impervious surface, where you can ordinarily have 35%, but what's existing is 37.38%. So it's a total delta of about 1.5%, and also the accessory side yard setback variance. Like I said, the shed goes back 35 years. We know this because Holly grew up in the neighboring property, 913 Spencer, which is right here when you're looking at the aerial to the left. Holly and her currently owns that property, and her parents still live there. So that would really be the only home that could be detrimentally impacted by the close proximity of this particular shed. But as we know, and as Holly will tell this board, she doesn't have any opposition to her own shed. Fortunately, we also know that the existing shed for 35 years, no stormwater management concerns or anything like that, and there have been no stormwater management concerns since this small 96 square foot addition as well. So with that, we would submit that there is no detrimental impact associated with the shed, no detrimental impact for any neighboring property owners. Holly has also had a chance to speak with all of her adjoining property owners apart from herself, and there is no other issue or no one expressed opposition or objection to her simple request here tonight. So with that, we would respectfully request these 2 variances related to this small addition to a 35-year-old accessory structure. And I have Holly with me tonight, and she'll be happy to attest to my statements and answer any questions that the board may have. Holly, come on up.
Hello.
Can you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Holly, you own the property here at 915 Spencer, is that right?
Yes.
And you own the neighboring property at 913 Spencer, correct?
Yes.
You had a chance, obviously, sitting here to listen to all the statements that I made to the board just now, is that right?
Yes.
Were they true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yep.
Anything you care to change or add based on those statements to the board?
Nope.
Would you be willing to adopt my statements to the board as your testimony here this evening?
Yes, please.
All right. And obviously, if the board has any questions about your property or about the shed, you'll be happy to answer those. Is that right?
Yep.
Perfect. So that would conclude the applicant's presentation, subject to any questions that the board may have.
Yeah, I'm just curious, 96 square feet? Why the additional 96 square feet? What did we have to put in that shed that needed 96?
Well, my husband owns a really big toolbox.
Okay.
And we have a couple lawnmowers, some weed whackers, and in the wintertime, we put all of our patio furniture in there so it doesn't get ruined. So we needed that little bit of space to put all the outside stuff in the back and still have room for all the outside patio stuff.
Fair enough.
And I have 2 children, so there's probably
They're in the shed, too?
toys in there, bicycles.
2 children are in the shed?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
no.
I keep them in the shed when they're bad.
Don't say that.
Sorry.
Children and youth doesn't watch this.
Anybody else have any questions? No? Okay. Bo? Anybody from the audience? Okay, go ahead. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion for this.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Call the board, please.
Colleen Dunn,
Yes,
Jim McMahon,
Sure.
Mark DeMarcus. Ed Murphy, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
You're welcome.
Okay. Juan Jose Arroyo Machira.
Thank you.
5812 Watson Avenue. I apologize for butchering the last name.
It's close enough, kind of.
I wasn't apologizing to you, Bryce. I was apologizing.
I was just making an observation.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, good evening again, board. Bryce McGuigan here, this time on behalf of Juan Jose Arroyo Macera. Now,
Very good.
despite the long name, Juan goes by Jose. So I have Jose with me tonight, together with his son, Jonathan. There's a slight language barrier, so I'm going to be doing the majority of the presentation. At the very end, Jose's going to come up here and attest to my statements with the help of his son, Jonathan. But Jose is the owner of the property at 5812 Watson Avenue. By way of background, it's about 5,800 square feet in size and zoned as part of the R3 residential district. There's an existing single-family home on the property together with 2 accessory structures to the rear, a gazebo and then a storage shed. Unfortunately, we are here today in connection with a code enforcement action related to the 2 rear structures that were installed without permits. These were installed quite a while ago. The shed is about 10 years old, give or take, and I strike that. The gazebo is about 10 years old, and the shed was built about a year or so after the gazebo was installed. So they've been there since about 2015 to 2017, that range. There have been no issues in terms of stormwater management or anything like that. Candidly, there was a code enforcement action involving the neighboring property right here to the left that you may remember I was before you for about 5 or 6 months ago. And as a result of that code enforcement action, this particular property showed up on the township radar, and that's why we're here tonight. Specifically, we're here seeking 3 separate variances. The first is similar to the neighboring property, which is to have structures within 5 feet of the side yard setback and the rear yard setback. We're also requesting relief related to impervious surface, you're only allowed 40%. We're asking for 50%. And then for building coverage, you're allowed 30% on the dot. We're at 30.7%. Specifically, as you'll see from the aerial here, it's more or less a common element to this particular part of town where there are accessory structures very close to setbacks or over the setbacks in certain cases. And that's not a justification, it's just unfortunately what you get with some of these somewhat odd lots and some of these structures that were built quite a while ago. Unlike the neighboring property that I was here for previously, fortunately, there is some additional space on this property in order to install stormwater management, so there is no concern with that when they go through the permitting process, being able to comply with the township ordinance. Fortunately, we do have about 10 years of demonstrated, I would say records, but demonstrated observations that there really has been, fortunately, no stormwater management concern over the past 10 years with this area, but obviously the applicants would have to move forward with that through the permitting process. With regard to building coverage, it's a 0.7% variance, so we're submitting that's a somewhat small number and not detrimental to the area as a result of that. Obviously, my clients, there is somewhat of a language barrier, and they didn't know that they had to obtain permits for this sort of thing. And obviously Jose's going to be here to apologize and account for that, but he is going through the code enforcement process. He did hire my office to help rectify this issue. He also hired a surveyor to prepare a survey for the township's review and consideration. And obviously he knows that moving forward, he's going to have to get formal stormwater management in accordance with any permits that he takes out. So while we are here for an issue where unfortunately we did not pull permits, he is going to have to rectify this issue and comply with all township requirements, and he gets the added benefit of paying legal fees, which, trust me, all of my clients appreciate. So with that, I have Jose with me tonight. I would like to get Jose sworn as well as Jonathan to attest to these statements and obviously answer any questions that this board may have. So with that, come on up, guys. Jose,
Jonathan, right? What should I say?
A-R-R-O-Y-O.
Jose, English is your second language, is that right? Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand English to a certain degree? You can translate if you need to. Yeah. All right. Did you generally understand what I said to the board tonight?
Yeah, a little.
Okay, a little. That's good. Did you understand the majority of what I told the board tonight?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. Was it true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right. Would you be willing to adopt my statements to the board as your testimony tonight? All right. And you also know that if this board does approve you, you still need to go through the permitting process for the improvements you made to your backyard. And as part of that process, you would have to comply with all the township ordinances, even with respect to stormwater management.
Yes.
And that would require you to install formal stormwater management on your property in some of the current existing pervious or grass areas.
Yes.
All right. And obviously, you're okay with doing that. You know you're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, if the board has any questions, obviously we'll do our best to answer those.
Anybody have any questions? No? Okay. At the risk of repeating myself every month, I'm going to do it again. You need a permit for everything. If If you don't think you're gonna get caught, this is what happens, right? So you see what happened here today. His neighbor was not in compliance with with code enforcement, and guess what? The guy that lives next door to him got caught too as well. So please get permits. It's a, you know, it's an easy, not an easy process, but it's something that has to be done, all right? Please, thank you. Bo, anything?
The only thing I'll add, Jim, is that going forward, and this is for any other applicant that already did the work, per our building inspector, and we can discuss this further on pending if you are approved or not approved. The building inspector may require you to actually show footers or anything of that nature, so you may have to expose them, or a hold harmless letter may be required. But that is up to him at that time once he obtains the permits.
Fair enough.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody from the audience? Okay, I need a motion. Call the board, please. I need a motion. sorry.
I'll make a motion for this.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Call the board.
Mark DeMarcus.
Yes.
Tim McMahon.
No.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 5, Albert Ritter, 1102 Karen Avenue. Please come on up.
I'll speak.
solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Can I have your name, please?
Albert Ritter.
Okay.
Because my house is on a large curve.
Okay.
So there's 3 across the street on either side of one trip.
Okay.
The last letter that I got was when I was supposed to prepare with PowerPoint. So the pictures I have of the first picture are posted.
Okay. Oh, no, no, that's fine. I'll just ask you, when you put the code in last, you have a question about that.
Yeah.
It was posted for 2 weeks before tonight?
I posted on 24th.
Perfect.
I got it.
Perfect. I'll ask you a couple questions.
One on yours, people. Yeah. You want to just give me it, I'll put it on here, and then you can have it. This is my first one ever, so. I don't know how well I'll do that. Sorry, as long as it was saved up.
Mr. Ritter, you handed me some documents. You served your neighbors with the forms from Bristol Township. Is that accurate?
I did.
Okay, and then you also showed me a picture on your laptop was depicting that the property was posted for tonight's meeting. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Okay, and it was posted at least 2 weeks before tonight's meeting. Is that accurate?
Yes, I posted on 24th.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ritter, go ahead.
I'd like to build a covered porch on the front of my property. There's a 25-foot minimum, I guess, to the sidewalk. I have 21.8 feet. We'd like to build it because my wife and I just retired and like to sit out front there. Actually, it's her idea, but I'd like to build it for her. So we need a variance because we're too close to the sidewalk.
Okay, is that it?
Well, there is an existing pad there now, a patio. This is Mike, my builder. To make sure that it's up to code or whatever, he's going to cut out pieces of the patio and put footers in so that it's built properly. I guess that's it. Is there any questions? Should I
Anybody?
show you the, well, that's it. There's the patio, and it's 21 foot to my fence. It's
a little over 30 feet to the street.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Ritter? No? Bo? Anybody from the audience? Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Call the board.
Mark DeMarcus.
Yes.
Jim McMahon.
Yes.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Good luck.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Have a great retirement. Moving right along. Okay. All right. Sheriff and Janet Kahn, 119 Kenwood Drive, Levittown. Sharif? Is it Sharif? Sheriff? Probably Sharif, right?
I'm going to speak. I'm Vanessa Khan.
You raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Is it V-A-N-E-S-S-A?
That's correct, yes.
K-H-A-N?
K-H-A-N.
Thank you. Is the green light on the mic?
Yes, it is.
Just pull closer.
Okay.
Ms. Khan? Is that
Yes.
right? All right, you handed me some documents, one of which is the forms given to you by the township. You had your neighbor sign these forms?
Yes.
Okay, and I also see a certified receipt. Did you mail?
We mailed it, yeah.
Okay, you mailed all of them. Okay,
No, we got 3 of them signed and 1 was mailed.
okay.
Yeah.
And you also handed me 2 colored photographs, one of which shows the property was posted. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then you have written on there, posted 10/22.
That's correct.
Okay, great.
Okay, Ms. Khan, you may proceed, please.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, just the record reflect, we've been handed packets. I'll mark this as A1 for applicant 1.
Good evening. My name is Vanessa Khan, and I'm speaking on behalf of Janet and Sheriff Khan, owners of 119 Kenwood Drive North. Lower? Okay, no problem. We're here today to respectfully request a variance for the roof built over the existing patio in the backyard. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge and apologize for proceeding with the project before obtaining the proper permits. We take full responsibility for this decision. The purpose for adding the roof was to make the most of our existing patio by creating a shaded, comfortable space for our family to use year-round. This became especially important after a large tree in our neighbor's backyard, our previous source of natural shade, was removed. The roof now provides relief from the sun and heat in the summer, as well as protection from the elements throughout the year. More importantly, the covered patio has become a cherished space for our family, especially when our grandchildren visits, particularly during the extended stay in the summer. It allows them to play games, do arts and crafts, and enjoy snacks while still being comfortable and protected from harsh weather. Lastly, in 21 years since moving into the neighborhood, we have never had any other violations on our property. We take pride in maintaining a clean, well-kept, and welcoming home, and we value the friendly and respectful relationships we've built with our neighbors. Accompanying this letter, we've included the following documents to support our request. Page 1 is the plot plan. Page 2 is the sanitary sewer easement construction permit waiver. Page 3 is the hand-drawn diagram and materials used. Page 4 to 7 is pictures that includes existing patio with roof, footer depth, footer anchor, and hurricane clips. And pages 8 to 10 include support letters from our neighbors. With that, I would like to thank you for your time and consideration, and if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Anybody?
How far over are they in a
me get this straight, Bo. So, was the original application 2022? Okay. So 2022, they were denied. Never tried to get a variance. And then you guys built it anyway. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. In 2024, it was built.
Anybody else have any questions?
I do. What's the only outstanding issue on the property?
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody from the audience? Okay. I need a motion. To accept or deny this application.
Jim, if I may, real quick, just to.
I'm sorry, Bo, I did
You're
not
all right.
ask you, I
It's okay,
apologize.
just to reiterate, as for the same application, the previous one.
Sure.
If you were to be approved at this
Mhm.
time, the exact same thing, depending on what our building inspector would require, you would either have to get a hold harmless letter, show footers, whatever the case may be, you would have
Yes.
to present that.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys could give me something. For, against?
I'll make a motion for it. I like that you have to have inspected done. That's good. I like that.
Second, please. Good.
If there's no second, then the motion fails.
Um,
Did I make a motion not to approve?
I'll make a second to approve. All right?
You're seconding
The-
Ed
yes.
Murphy's motion.
Yeah. Okay, call the board.
Colleen Dunn.
No.
Mark DeMarcus.
No.
Jim McMahon.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes.
So we got 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
So
Motion is not, the application is denied.
status quo.
Status quo. So, do they appeal it? Okay, so at this point, we're, the vote was 2-2.
Mhm.
Application was denied, but you have a right to appeal.
Okay.
I don't know what that process would be involved.
You have a right to appeal to the Bucks County Court of Common Pleas. We can't give you any further advice from there.
Okay.
You can seek out retained counsel to help you with that if you so choose.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, number 7, David Weedy, 51 Grass Pond Road, Levittown.
Good evening. Yes.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
It's W,
E-I-H-E.
and how do you say that?
Y-he.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Only 2 neighbors.
Yeah, so behind my house is that Howard Grid field. There's nobody that lives behind there.
Good.
This is the one window.
Do you know the date that it was posted?
Yeah, the 24th.
Okay, great, thanks. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. Sir, you've handed me some documents, one of which is proof that you served your neighbors. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the other, you showed me pictures on your cell phone showing the property was posted, and I believe you advised that the property was posted on October 27th?
Seventh. Yes, sir.
Okay, and that placard has remained up since?
Yes, it's still there today.
Great, thank you.
Okay, you may proceed.
I'm here for a few variances for my backyard. One is impervious, another one is for, well, it's all pretty much impervious, and then one for rear yard setback. When I purchased my house, I bought it dead middle of COVID. Everything was shut down, so I didn't know anything about Bristol Township at the time. The house that I bought was abandoned for 2 years. The backyard was just destroyed. I mean, I would mow the lawn. I was getting dog chains wrapped in my lawnmower. They had 2 sheds on the property that completely were deteriorated. So I took them down, put a new shed on the same plat that was there already. And then I added pavers to my backyard. I don't know if you guys can see all that on the plot plan and when I got the survey done. And then I had a above-ground pool, but it's just like a little cheap Walmart pool that I put up and take down. I actually just put it up this summer, and they said that was for the impervious too, but I just put it away and put it into a bin. You know, the backyard I did with the pavers, one of my dogs is severely allergic to grass. She's on Apoquil medication now for the last 3 or 4 years. My backyard's been this way for the last 3 years that I've done it. I wasn't trying to hide anything. The same thing, I heard your speeches about the permits. I didn't know. I came from the city, Philadelphia. So, I mean, obviously over there you could do whatever you want. This is a different ball game here. So everything is done to the property. I didn't know, and then, you know, I finally got the letters stating that, you know, I needed permits for everything. I applied for the permits, and then that's when they denied it for the impervious and the rear yard setback due to the pavers. I had the water and sewer came out. They approved everything that I did to my yard. They inspected everything. I'm not on the easement at all with anything except the pavers, but they said that they could easily get pulled up if there was an issue with anything. So I forget the guy's name. He came out to the property and inspected everything that I did.
So your sheds are sitting on concrete or?
No, it's on I guess you want to say like a wooden platform.
Okay.
Anchored to that. So the platform was there from the other sheds that were previously there.
Right.
So I just built the same thing, just put a plastic shed on top of that for storage.
Oh, they're plastic sheds.
Yeah, they're just them Lifetime brand or something like that, I believe it is.
Right. I got you. How much are we talking about over impervious?
82.9% or 40% is permitted.
And that's due to my pavers that I put down. When I did the research for the pavers, one of them papers that's in your packet, it says that the pavers are porous. So I assumed, you know, that was good to do, you know what I mean? None of my neighbors ever gave me any issue with flooding or anything like that of that nature. I mean, we had crazy storms this past summer, not one puddle, not one runoff, nothing. The water just goes right through the pavers. So the one document, that's from Home Depot. When I bought them, you know, I asked about drainage, and they said this is what this is for. You know, you put them down, and water will, you know, go right through them.
So part of his impervious is the above-ground pool as well, or no?
Yeah, that's what they told me on the permit. It was denied.
I believe it's on the pavers, am I right?
Yeah.
So it's the pavers themselves.
So it's not the pool?
Underneath the pool aspect.
Okay. All right, so that's not gonna help us in any way, shape, or form here. No.
I have a question, Jim.
Go ahead, Bo.
So, in this Lower Bucks joint approval one, where you indicated your plot plan here. These 8x6 sheds,
I-
you have 2 of them?
I had 3, I took 2 gone. I got rid of the 2 that were in the
Because
back.
the 2 that you indicated on the easements, they allowed them?
They're not on the easement.
Well, that's what this.
Oh,
shows
yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
they permitted those. I mean, it's not on the pipe, what they were saying. It's on the easement, but they approved it because of, I guess, it was far enough away from the pipes.
Okay.
But the other 2 that were in the back of the yard, I don't know if on that one plot plan, they're gone. I don't even have them anymore. That's why I did just the 3 sheds for the variance.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Go ahead.
When the impervious was done, were the sheds there? Were they part of the calculation, of the original calculation?
Yes, yeah, because they told me,
So since then, they've been removed? those 2
yes,
sheds?
they're gone, yes.
Thank you.
Because part of it, they said wasn't on my property when I bought the property, the fence line, so they couldn't permit, the sewer people couldn't permit that section, so they only did 2 feet of that shed. But when you guys came, I got rid of them.
If I may again, did Robert McTagg, building and planning director, did he walk this property with you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, he did. And were
Yeah.
the sheds there at that time?
No, they were gone. The
Okay.
2 in the back were gone. The other ones that I'm trying for now, they were there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
How many sheds do you have? Because one report says 4, another says 5, and now you're telling 2 are gone.
I have,
so-
yeah, I have 3 on my property. At first, I had the 5, and then I got rid of them too.
Is there electric ran to any of the sheds?
No,
No water, no utilities?
nothing. This just mainly for all decorations for the home. My attic is, I mean, it's pretty much a crawl space, you know?
And one more question. You said that Pico is behind you. Are you aware that when you do park your vehicle back there, it is illegal, for
Okay.
1, and for 2, that is on the easement, directly over the pipe that you're talking about?
What is?
Your vehicle. You park in the back on the
No.
Pico line?
No, I don't park my vehicle in my backyard.
I went out for a visit twice, and it was
It's in
there,
the
and
field
it's-
behind my house.
Yes, that's the Pico land. It's illegal to park on grass in Bristol Township.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
What if we eliminate some of the pavers?
is that a possibility?
I mean, whatever you want me to do, I'm trying to make it
We
work.
got- I mean, 82% is, I mean, we gotta try to get it closer to the 40 than to the 100. you
Right,
know?
right.
So, go
The
ahead.
gazebo that's on the property, do they have a permit for that? And has there been electrical inspections for that?
So, to my knowledge, no. This is the only thing that you've applied for so far, right?
Yeah.
So no inspections have been
No.
entirely on this property.
You aware that there's a gazebo there with electric?
I was not, no.
There's no electric. It's, the electric's gone from the gazebo, because I had to move it.
Can you say that again?
The electric's gone from the gazebo, because I had to move it for the pool. So I moved it over, and there's no electric attached to it no more.
I was just gonna say, Colleen, that when our building inspector or Mike, our electrical inspector, would to be out there, they would inform us of that. And we would make them apply for that at that time frame.
True, but then that would negate the impervious surface of him saying that the pavers absorb the water and it goes into the ground if that's covered.
Say that again?
If there's a gazebo on there and it's already over impervious surface, and Mr. Wall said that the pavers allows the runoff into the ground, would that impact the?
No, pavers are not, pavers are still considered impervious. So if they're underneath, it's still impervious covers.
No, I get that, but
Okay.
what I'm saying is if there's a roof over it, it won't allow the trickle-down effect that he was.
Well, no, it wouldn't, no, no.
All right,
So if at this time frame, what you're proposing right now is not an accurate representation, is that what I'm understanding? For your impervious calculation?
Whatever.
You have removed, am I right?
No, so when I got the survey done, them sheds were gone. The 2 sheds were gone.
Okay, so you were over 82% with the sheds, so you were higher. And removing the sheds, now you're at 82?
I guess. Well, I mean, I have still 2 little platforms that I built to put the sheds on. Those were still there when they came and did the survey.
Okay.
Yeah, so, my opinion for you right now is to get a continuance for this to next month and see if you can remove some of those pavers and get closer to the 40% from 80.
Okay.
You know, saying this is, because reading the room right now, I don't think this is, I'm just not saying, this is,
Right, yeah.
for me, it's not working for you right now.
Okay.
So, my thing is, ask for a continuance, we'll grant you a continuance, you see if you can get closer to the 40 than where you're at now, and then revisit it in a month, or if you need 2 months, we can, you know,
Okay.
give you a
So when I
continuance.
pull the pavers up, what should I do at that point? Take pictures of them gone?
You- Yeah, Bo.
So, once you remove any impervious, if you still have Robert McTagg's number, or I can give you my number before you leave.
Okay.
Give me a call, and we will come back out, and we will help you remeasure this, and then we can give you an accurate representation of where you're at.
Okay.
And then from there, we could reapply for, or not reapply, you're just gonna adjust your number from where you are with your impervious calc.
Okay, all right, because I know if I get most of the pavers gone and have the gazebo there, I think I'm close to like 46%.
Yeah, we will remeasure at that time, and then you can
I mean, that,
represent to the board. Yes.
that's much better than 80.
Okay, all right, all right.
So you're gonna ask us for a continuance.
Can I have a continuance, please?
So, good.
And Mr. Chairman, I think part of the continuance request would also be to recalculate, but also to clear up this uncertainty of what buildings are there. Did they measure it before or after? So I think would be in your best interest, sir, to make sure that the calculations that you're bringing to the board are accurate, that things were not removed or they were removed and the calculations are off. So that's
So
probably.
do you think you would do this within a month, or do you need 2 months?
If I could do 2 months, I work 70 hours a week. I work for SEPTA.
Okay, so we're talking, when?
December.
Yeah. No, January's meeting. Yeah, 2 months is January. So it'd be, yeah, January 2026.
Okay, now do I need to file anything from the
You're
people out
gonna
here again?
remove pavers, you're gonna call the township, they're gonna come out and remeasure, and then
Okay.
if you're close enough to 40, then you come back, that's in January.
Okay.
Adjust your numbers, and then we
Go
will
from
start,
there.
you
Okay,
know, over again with the variance.
gotcha, understand.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Fair enough?
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay, so I need a continuance for this application for 2 months, January 2026.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Call the board, please.
Colleen Dunn,
Yes.
Jim McMahon,
Yes.
Mark DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Good luck.
All right, thank
Yes.
you.
And sir, you also, part of your continuance request, you had to grant this board an extension to hear your matter. Can you just state on the record that you would grant this board an extension to hear this matter per the law, Pennsylvania law?
Yes, I grant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, last on the agenda is number 8, Camps Pallets, 665 Seward Avenue, Southwest Grand Rapids, Minnesota, Michigan, whatever.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just state for the record, the solicitor provided me proof of service before tonight's meeting. The property was also posted on October 22nd, 2025.
So moved, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Don Petros. I'm an attorney representing the applicant Camps Inc., also known as Camps Pallets. I'd like to hand the court reporter a personnel list that shows the people that are here with me this evening, if that's okay. And I would also like to hand a copy of that up to the board and also an exhibit packet.
Come on up. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Do you have pre-marked exhibits? I do.
Do they have to take that down, or is it just?
Yes. So if they appeal, everything placed on hold. If they lose the appeal and endorse on, and then they would take it home.
Okay. All right. But they can read.
They can come back here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it is. Mr. Chairman, I'm prepared to call witnesses, but I would also be prepared to do what is sometimes referred to as an offer of proof, where I would indicate what their testimony would be and then call them up and ask them if they would adopt that as their own testimony. Is that that way? Okay. All right. I'm here representing Camps, which leases the property at 6400 Bristol Pike and operates its pallet facilities there. With me this evening are Isaac Kessler, who's a professional engineer, and he is the project engineer, and also is Daniel Diggin, who is the corporate buildings and property manager for Camps. He came in from Cedar Rapids for the proceedings today. Camps is a national manufacturer of pallets with a mixture of owned and leased facilities throughout the country. The subject property is located between Bristol Pike and the railroad tracks. It is zoned M2 heavy manufacturing district. Isaac Kessler has previously been qualified as an expert in civil engineering, so this initial testimony that I am summarizing would be his testimony. I've handed up the exhibit packets. Exhibit A1 is his resume. Exhibit A2 is a copy of the deed for the subject property, which is owned by Dawson Logistics Assets, LLC. Exhibit A3 is a copy of the landlord's consent to the alterations to the property involving clearing, grading, and installation of additional gravel area, and the right of applicant to seek all necessary approvals. That's just for our standing. The base site area is about 8.66 acres. The net buildable site area is 7.08 acres after netting out the resource protection land as shown on Exhibit A7, which is a zoning plan that I've handed up that has a zoning table on it. That resource protection land is, I guess, about an acre and a little over an acre and a half, and it's at the rear of the property, and it was actually in pretty bad shape when they did the gravel paving, which is the subject of this application. They kind of cleaned that area up, so it is a little in better shape now than it was. Exhibit A4 is a 2024 aerial map which shows the property. There's a leader that points to the site, and it also shows the surrounding property around it. I think the facility just to the south is the Amazon facility, and that's adjacent to this property. The work was done on the property during the first 2 months of, month or two, January and February of 2025, involving the grading and the expansion of the gravel parking surfaces in the rear of the property. That's what brings us here today. Exhibit A5 shows the area where the work was done. Exhibit A6 is an existing conditions and natural resources plan dated September 26, 2025, which shows where the original gravel was and where the extended gravel is. Exhibit A7 is a zoning plan with a zoning table. Prior to the work in early 2025, the property was in compliance with the applicable zoning regulations except for two existing nonconformities that have existed on the property for some time. One was relating to maximum building coverage and the other was maximum impervious surface or coverage. The maximum permitted building coverage is 35%. Table A7 shows the existing building to be 40% and existing nonconformity, but there have been no recent changes to the building, so that's not really part of our application. Building coverage has not changed. The maximum impervious surface was also non-conforming. It was 70.5% of the site before any of this work was done in early 2025, and that's of the total site. It would have been a larger percentage, and I'll give you those numbers in a minute. It was 86 point something. If you used the net buildable site area, which nets out the green area, the woods in the back. After the 2025 gravel area expansion, impervious surface of the overall property was 78%, so it was an increase of about 7.5% or so, or 27,316 square feet. As I indicated, technically the ordinance seems to consider the ratio with the net buildable site area, and I'll give you, I have those numbers right here. If the net buildable site area were used, the impervious surface ratio before the work was 86.2%, and it would go to 95% if you use that calculation, which is to exclude all the existing green area on the property. Would have been an increase of 8.8%. So 7.5 or 8.8% would be the increase. It's pretty close whether you use the total site area or whether you use the net buildable site area. We're requesting a variance from section 205, 61D to allow 78% of the impervious surface of the total lot area and to allow the gravel area as it exists today to continue with the 27,316 square feet that was added. It was the applicant's understanding when this work was done that the contractor was to pull any necessary permits and get any necessary approvals, but unfortunately that apparently wasn't done. The reason for the expansion of the gravel area was basically the growth of the business, the volume of the business and the growth of the business. They have fairly good-sized tractor trailers that use this property, and as the business increased, it became apparent that it wasn't really, there wasn't sufficient room for the tractor trailers to safely navigate the site. So that was the impetus for it. A stormwater management system is proposed, which basically runs completely from side to side of the gravel area. And it's, I think it's 13 feet wide by 420 feet long. So it's a sizable stormwater management bed. And the applicant is in the process of trying to obtain a land alteration permit from the township and is working with the township engineer, and I think the township engineer has, I think, recently reviewed that. Isaac would testify that some of the surrounding properties appear to have even a higher percentage of impervious surface than the subject property. If you look at the Amazon property next to it, there's very little of that property that isn't impervious surface. And the next property to the left on that A4, the aerial photograph, I believe is also part of the Amazon property. It's a separate parcel, but Amazon has taken that over as well. And you can see that property has virtually nothing. It looks like it's 100% impervious surface. There are also some properties across the railroad tracks that look like they're almost entirely impervious surface. So Isaac would testify that he does not believe that the grant of the variance would be injurious to the neighborhood or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. In fact, with the stormwater management that's proposed, we think the stormwater management situation will be better than it was before any of the work was done. We believe, he has indicated to me, we able to comply with the township ordinance, both as to rate control and volume control, and of course, that'll be up to the township engineer to see if he agrees with that. He would testify that the grant of the variance would enable the applicant to enjoy reasonable use of the property to be able to operate its business. I think, I don't know if I mentioned or not, that the business employs about 69 local employees at this location. Although the amount of impervious surface is high, it seems to be consistent with the other properties in the M2 major manufacturing district. Dan Dignan, who is here also, would testify that he's the corporate buildings and property manager for Camps, which is headquartered in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Dan would testify that he's familiar with the Camps facility at 6400 Bristol Pike in Levittown, which is the property involved in this hearing. He is familiar with the 2025 extension of the gravel area at the east or railroad side of the property. The work was necessary due to the increased volume and growth of the business. The increased tractor trailer traffic made it obvious that the extension would make it safer for drivers. Camps transports its merchandise generally in a day cab tractor with a 53-foot trailer attached. So these are pretty large vehicles. It was further Dan's understanding that the contractor would obtain any necessary governmental permits or approvals. He was not aware of any issues related to maximum impervious surface ratio until that issue surfaced. When that issue did surface, he retained Remington and Vernick as the project engineers to work with the township engineer and the township to obtain all the necessary permits. But in order to do that, we need zoning relief from this board. If the board grants the relief, the requested variance from section 205.61D, dealing with maximum impervious surface, to allow the expansion of 27,316 square feet of gravel to remain, Camps will of course commit to installing the stormwater management system that it has proposed, subject to the approval of the township engineer. And I think that's basically what we would want to present. We're happy to answer any questions that the board may have. And at the appropriate time, I'll call the witnesses up to see if they would adopt my statements as their testimony.
Does anybody have any questions at this point?
I do not.
You want to hear from the witnesses? Bo, you got? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Isaac? You can both come up. We'll do it one right after the other. So you're going to swear you in first.
Can you raise your right hands, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Yes.
Isaac, you heard my statement to the board this evening. Do you agree with that summary of what your testimony would be?
I do.
And would you adopt it as your own testimony?
Yes.
Is there anything that I said that you want to correct or modify?
No corrections.
Okay. Anything that you feel a need to add?
I will highlight two things for this site, just to give a little context. As it was mentioned, our firm was brought in to help correct some of the issues they realized that weren't taken care of by the original contractor, with a commitment to make sure that they were fully compliant with the ordinances going forward. The history of the site, that wooded area in the back, this site dates back quite a bit. So if you go back a little while, it was really more just overgrowth and brush along the railroad tracks there. So Camps, while they extended the gravel lot, they did still retain about 65 feet until you get to the railroad property, which compared to some of the adjacent lots still is a pretty significant wooded area. They extended the lot enough so they could do their operations, but didn't encroach any further from that. The stormwater, as mentioned, this property is in kind of a depressed area in the topography, so it does take on some water from the adjacent properties, whereas before there was no stormwater system at all. With this improvement, the stormwater that stretches along the back will be able to better manage really any flow that's coming through the property there. So we do see that as an improvement to be added as part of the work back there.
Okay. Dan? Daniel Dignan? Did you swear me in the morning? Yeah, okay, sorry. Dan, you heard my summary of what your testimony would be if you were called as a witness in this case.
Yes.
And do you agree with what I said your testimony would be?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that you would like to correct in the testimony that I said, or anything you'd like to add to it?
Just that, in fact, I am right now in the process of trying to get a contractor, if this approval goes through, to in fact put in that drainage system that should have been done in the first place. I wholeheartedly believe what I've heard you say, not only on tape, but here today in person, about everything needs a permit. Unfortunately, when I was first hired, I took for granted that that was taken care of. But now we are growing as a company, and that's part of my motto too. Everything needs a permit. So this is, hopefully if it gets approved, we'll do better for that part of this township. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for the witnesses? Bo, anything to add?
Yes, I would just like to inform the board, and if we can condition that the applicant, if they are approved today, that they do follow the findings in Gilmore and Associates letter dated November 10th, 2025, specifically the additional review comments, number 1, but as the entire packet itself. Please.
I'm not sure we've even seen that yet. Have you, I haven't seen it.
It was sent, I guess, earlier
It was
today
sent,
to
yes.
us. If you can just remind us what that number 1 was in there.
So number 1 reads, it appears that the rear of the existing building is proposed as gravel. The plan should be revised to be in accordance with the township design standards for paving. The township paving detail for truck traffic on driveways and parking lots should be added to the plans.
Could we speak to that, just that issue, that particular issue?
Absolutely.
You want to handle it first, and then Dan, you can comment on it as well?
Well, my understanding is that a parking lot or something along those lines would in fact need to be paved. But the side and rear, the side of this building is in fact paved, but with all the traffic in the back of the building with the tractor trailers turning around, it would tear the paving up. And that's why we've done multiple concrete projects at this facility where the tractor trailers park and drop their trailers, get loaded, and things along those lines. That's just what I've seen over the years with paving per se in those areas.
Do you have any kind of a maintenance program with the gravel that it's properly maintained?
Well, and that's what we would propose if that was in fact the case to the owners, that we would in fact every 6 months fill in the potholes or things along those lines that may become of an issue.
Yeah, with the operations that are in the rear of the property there, as was mentioned with the turning movements and those types of things that could really deteriorate the paving quite a bit, would it be acceptable for that to be satisfied just with our discussions with the township engineer to their satisfaction?
Yeah, so at this time frame, if you haven't received, I know that was sent this afternoon, but I'm sure you guys didn't get a chance to discuss it yet. Following the GA letter, you can obviously correspond with them and correspond with the township, and we can go from there on the findings. But as for now, I would like to put in there as a condition that you will be following the GA letter as per everything that they indicated.
Yeah, that sounds acceptable, and I'll add that in that letter as well. I believe they identified that the matter for zoning relief that is discussed tonight was the only zoning matter that was needed for this step until we further collaborate or coordinate with them for the approval from their letter.
Yes, that is valid.
The Gilmore and Associates letter, the impervious surface is still gonna be the same regardless.
That's right, they consider the gravel area as impervious.
Right, okay,
Yes, they're here for an impervious surface calculation.
okay. So on the condition of the letter sent by Gilmore and Associates, which you guys accept as, at this point, or no?
Yeah, I would say we'll look to further coordinate with the township engineer to satisfy their comments that are pending there.
So I think we still have a problem with that number one, but we'd like the opportunity to try to work that out with the township
Okay,
engineer.
that doesn't, it creates a problem for us.
I think, I could be wrong, but I think that letter had to do with a land alteration permit. That was, so those are comments that he had with regard to the land alteration permit. They're really not zoning issues per se.
But also, he looked at the woodlands too, is that accurate, Bo?
Yes, that is accurate.
All right, so, so I think it was, served more than that single purpose. I know they also looked at whether or not there was woodland disturbance, which would require zoning relief also.
Correct, yeah, and that was identified, the woodlands that were disturbed for the extended gravel lot that is below the threshold for asking for zoning relief. It was below that by a few percentage.
Okay, everybody good here, or? Sure?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. All right, you done with presentation?
Yes, sir. I just moved for the admission of our exhibits.
Okay, so if this variance is granted on the condition, right, on the condition that Kemp's Pallets will work with the township and the township engineer going forward. Fair enough, Bo? Is that?
That is fine, yeah. If we would like to just condition that, obviously, basically what you said, the approval of Gilmore and Associates letter.
Okay.
So they would be in compliance with Gilmore and Associates approval letter.
Well,
But they're not in compliance with it, because he's saying they don't want to pave the area, so.
So then that would be taken up with Gilmore and Associates and the township at that time frame.
Okay, so we can still approve the variance, but they might not get, the township might say, we don't agree with what the zoning board did.
Yes, for what they are for here tonight,
Okay,
that would need to be voted on.
okay. All right. On that condition. Okay, is that good? Go ahead.
There isn't but we're not to the condition of what he is in fact to this
On the condition of
Gilmore
work with the
letter.
township and the township engineers, that's the condition. Not that you have to go by what's on number one. You guys gotta work with, go ahead.
Can I just make a recommendation? I think it's probably best that the applicant's engineer work with Gilmore and Associates to discuss and figure out what's the best way to handle the paving versus gravel aspect with the, knowing that there's gonna be tractor trailers on and off this property, tearing up the pavement. So I think, you know, if the board were to consider making a condition, that it would be that applicant's attorney work with Gilmore and Associates, township engineer, in regards to that paving versus gravel issue.
Okay,
That satisfied the township, Bill?
okay,
Great.
okay.
Sounds good.
Good?
Everybody's good?
Everybody good? We sure? All right. Okay. All right, is that all you have for your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Is that all the witnesses you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody from the audience like to come up for or against this application? I see none. Give me a motion, please.
I'm gonna make a motion for this application.
Second, please.
I'll second.
Call the board.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Jim McMahon.
Yes.
Mark DeMarcus.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Good luck, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make that motion.
Done? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Go Birds.
Perfect timing. Thank you.